Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of Jacob's Jukebox. My name is Jacob, and today I'm going to be talking about Ariana Grande's new album, Eternal Sunshine. I kept calling this album External Sunshine. I don't know, I just kept reading it like that. There's no X in it. No idea where that came from, but finally calling it by its real name. It's in writing. It's in this podcast as proof. I call it Eternal Sunshine. Um, So, when I first heard, the first single for this album was Yes and when I first heard it, I was like, ooh, she's going for this kind of vibe. I was definitely not a fan of it when I first heard it. But honestly, the song kind of gave you, a false vibe of what the album was going to be like. Especially because the whole scandal she had with, Dalton, her husband at the time. Because, I remember back in, during the pandemic, she released that song with Justin Bieber, I think it was called Stuck With You or something like that. And I was like, oh, she's married, she's found someone, it's gonna last, it's a good relationship. No, it was not, apparently. Because when I heard the album, apparently she talked about I forgot what song it was, but she was talking about how this girl was in her bed and it was a whole, I was like, what, did he cheat on her? It was, but then I thought she was the homewrecker, because the whole scandal with SpongeBob and whatnot. I forgot. I thought it was a whole thing. I really had no idea what to expect on this record. I was like, oh, she's probably gonna defend herself and say, oh yeah, I can date whoever I want. I'm a homewrecker, which is not a good persona to have. But oh well, I definitely was wrong, very wrong. Because this album, for different reasons, was just really good. It was a really, really strong album. I haven't heard, Positions, I'm not a big fan of that album. The really only Ariana Grande album I, listen to, regularly is Thank You Next. But this album, it's definitely really one of my favorites. I think it's a really good album. Possibly a Grammy winner. It's a really good album. I really like it. There's not much bad things I can say about it. Like I said, I don't like Yes and, but that's my own personal thing. I just don't like that kind of music. But there's a lot of really strong songs on this album. I'm pretty sure her grandma became the oldest person to have chart on Spotify. I thought that was pretty cool. She's featured on a song called Ordinary Things. I think it's the name of it. But there's a lot of really strong contenders on it. I think some of my favorites have to be the title track, Eternal Sunshine. I like Bye. I like Imperfect For You. I also like, there's one more that I really like. It's the next single. It's oh, We Can't Be Friends. I think it's a really good pop album. It's in terms of the sound, is for the most part it's very cohesive. I think the only song I really think that doesn't really fit is Yes and. I think it's the only song I don't feel fits with the vibe sonically, which I don't really get why that was the first single, because I first heard it and I was like, oh, this is Ariana Grande. And I don't think it was her. I don't know. It didn't fit right. It didn't click in my brain. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me, but I just was not my song. Did not like it. I thought it was definitely sticks out on the album, not in a good way. I don't know if it's the lyrics. I think it's the sound. I don't think I'm a big fan of the sound and the way the song is, but it's on the album. Every album has its flaws. Something else I wanted to address in this shorter episode of Jacob's Jukebox was, will she go on tour or not? I know she was on the Zach Sang show, whatever his name is, and she talked about how she would love to go on tour again. And if she does, best believe I'm getting tickets, because I've seen her little Netflix documentary that she's done with, I think it was Thank You Next, and Chef's Kiss. It was great. I would love to see her on tour again. Or tour. I did, no, that's a lie. I did see her. My first ever concert was Ariana Grande with her Dangerous Woman tour. I remember I lived in Dallas at the time, and we were just visiting Houston because I have family down here. And I got a call. I was like, "Hey, Jacob, do you want to go to see Ariana Grande tonight?" I said, okay." So my first ever concert was Ariana Grande at the Toyota Center. Um, and I love to see her again. Cause I don't remember, I do not remember much about this at all. I just remember driving to Houston from Dallas and getting that call. And I remember enjoying the concert, to say the least. But I I think that if she were to go on tour again, it would be a pretty successful tour. I don't think she'd sell stadiums. I think it would be like arena tour. Um, like I don't think I don't think she'll go to stadiums. But I think a lot of these songs would be really cool to hear live. Like Bye. I think like the lyrically and musically, it's a very performable song. Um, and I think in terms of like her fan base will sell out tickets. They will sell out arenas. Like I'm not the biggest Ariana Grande fan, but I would still go because I think she's a really good performer, and I think she has a very, very good voice. Um, and I think her live would do so well. It'd be so cool. Um, Also, something else I wanted to talk about was her vocals. Her vocals, obviously, it's Ariana Grande. You're gonna get good vocals. But um, but on this album, I didn't hear any like whistle whistle notes, whatever they're called. I didn't hear any of that like really high stuff. I thought I thought it was very smooth. I know I think at the time she recorded this album, with she was still working on Wicked, which I'm very excited to see her as Galinda, and I think she'd do really well in that film. I'm excited to see it. Although they're dividing up the musical into two parts, which I'm kind of upset about. I wish just make it, especially because they're having it like set out for like years. I don't want to wait like a whole year to see the second act of the movie. I mean, I know how I've seen Wicked live, but I want to see it in the movie like back to back. I don't want to have to wait a whole year. It's not the Avengers. Um, but I think vocally she probably could have done better. I think it was good. Well, that's a lot. I take that back. I think it was good for what it was. I think the album vocally was very good. Um, I don't think it needed the whistle notes, but they would have been very, very greatly appreciated, nonetheless. Well, that's all I want to talk about. This was a short episode, but as you can tell, we have no guests this episode. In the next episode, I'm going to be addressing three things. I'm addressing the new Taylor Swift album, the new Beyonce album, and the deluxe version of Cuts, which at the time that I'm filming this comes out tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.